This time on Woody's Garage, we work on the clutch and sticky brakes.
Well, we're back at it with sore bones and bruises. And speaking of bruised, I don't think this thing's gonna bend straight without breaking. But let's get into that case. I got a download procedure from Honda Twins forum, and I'm going to try to follow that. It seems to be like what's happening to me is a common problem, so we'll follow their instructions. Let's get this thing off. Perch about halfway out as recommended. Bottom adjuster is all the way max so that you have as much slack as possible. Number 10 ball bearing is in place. A little hard to see. Here's the adjuster out. Put it through. I'm going to put the nut all the way on. So I didn't have a washer, so I went in and got one. I showed in the diagram, you don't see it's a lock washer. So we'll put this in, and then we'll put the nut all the way on, I think is what that would be counterclockwise. So that is bottomed out there. That's what it looks like there. Well, here's where the instructions get kind of weird, because I don't know what position this is supposed to be. My guess is this is supposed to be fully seated down too. So I'm going to pull that screw out again. Another thing the instructions are assuming is that, you know, the whole mechanism's together, but you can't really see what's going on if it's all together. So this is what I've done. I bottomed this piece out. That's a screw. Goes down through the hole. Sits on the detent there. Then we'll put the nut on all the way. I'm not sure where the 3-ball bearing thing is supposed to sit either. It's so strange because, you know, I mean, you'd figure it would kind of be like that. You know, like that would be optimal somehow. But you can't put it that way because of how the detents are on that plate there. I'll put it like that. Okay, arm is all the way down, which I guess it's supposed to be, nice and flat. We'll put the cable through and hitch it up, and then we'll screw it on the bike. First we'll put the cable through. Cable is through, and that's what the arm looks like. It's a little higher than this rib right here. That's with everything slack, except for the perch is not totally slack, as per instructions. Actually, it just popped into place and it's a little bit below that rib. Okay. Cover is snug, as per instructions. Cable bottomed out. Okay, maybe I had it right. So I just turned this counterclockwise all the way until it stopped. But that makes it, I have a second one, so it makes it so that it's tight to this thing, like that. I put all the crap together. I got the ball bearing in there. It's still that little flying saucer ball bearing thing. I don't know. That is just so weird why it has, you know, one side cut off and nobody ever mentions that. I'm mentioning it. Okay, cover's gonna go on. Cover's on. No nut and bolt. I mean, no washer and nut yet. I'm gonna put them on right now. They're on but loose. Okay, with the nut loose, we're turning it counterclockwise until you can start feeling pressure on the springs. That's loose. definitely feeling tight. I don't know if I can really feel the springs, but that's got to be it. Right there. Yeah, sorry the camera was bad. It was like right about there. And we're going to turn it off until it just, you don't feel it. Right about there. And then turn it back counterclockwise again about 1/8 of a turn. Right there, I would say. And then tighten down this lock nut. So I'll try that. Okay, we tightened the nut while holding the screw where it is. Okay, we adjusted these like this until, as the instructions say, the lever closes. So let's see, it was about like that, and we just tightened it up so it was like just like that, and we stopped. Well, it feels pretty healthy, but it did yesterday too after it popped. Yeah. I'm going to pop and walk it back. That fall I took yesterday definitely bent the handlebars even more. And the fender too. I don't think it's ever coming back. A nice kink right there. Okay, so we see if we can get this straightened out. I kind of know what's going to happen with that, don't you? Bust off. Oh, holy crap, look at it. Well, that's different. Surprised it didn't break. Look at this thing. How many times do you think this thing's been rebent? 700-800 times? God Lord. And it will work like that. It's not perfectly straight at the end there, but okay, I just took a ride around the block. It's running like shit. It was running better before, but I think the clutch is okay now. Did not pop out, although I was going really slow because I didn't want to have an episode like the day before with the crash. The front end looks all out of whack now. The fork seals are leaking like a mother. And it seems like the right side is running strong and the left side is misfiring. It's like pop, 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 pop. And if you put your hand over the exhaust, there are some blasts of like cold air as opposed to hot air, like it's not firing. And I swear to God, that's exactly what I had on the other engine. Okay, I know what I should do next. The back brake is dragging. It's like not springing back, which I mean, I should have just left the damn squeak. It probably would have gone away. Pisses me off. But it seems like the spring that's right in here. You can see that. It just, you know, you push down and it's not popping it back. Although, like, you know, that's the play we got for the brakes. Which also, I mean, everything about this seems like not good. Look at the cable's not even moving there. You really got to step on it, so something's screwed up. First thing I did was I took off the adjuster on the back, so this is kind of free. We'll push that to the side. You can kind of see, like, yeah, that works fine. Nothing wrong there. You come up to the pedal. And I mean, look at how low it hangs. It should be up like this. So yeah, I'm going to pull this whole thing out and clean it. I have no idea about that cable. If it's a cable, what the hell that thing even is. Okay, we took the brake stay off, which is this guy here. It's up here. Keep the drum from spinning around when you hit the brakes. And the cable, whatever the stupid thing is. And now I gotta try to take the brake off there. So I just gave a yoink on this. And this is, I think, a cable, because I pulled it, the cable came back and I felt some come with it, so it's just really frozen up. I'm gonna see, instead of taking the whole brake assembly off, see if I can get some lube in this thing somehow. Probably by removing this boot. I got that thing off. This is to hold it to like the stay by pushing it forward on the cable, and I think that also goes on like that. Yeah, we'll see if we can get some lubey down here. See if we can get the cable through this stuff. You can probably see down there better than I can. You see that spring? My finger wiggling around there. That's where we need to get some lube. That should be pretty easy. And where I have my finger, I can't see it. Maybe you can. There's like a cutaway here. You can feel a cable going through there. And that was stiff. I just moved this by hand a bunch of times and it's much smoother now, but I'm going to get some oil in there, then it should alleviate all our problems. And the brake pedal snapped right back up to where it should, as you see. So it's definitely hung up. Okay, let's lube. Got a 19 millimeter bolt in there. I'm not sure if it's 19. I'm using a crescent on it. I'm going to pull that out because that whole mechanism seems really sticky too. That's pretty loose, but so is the bolt. We'll tighten up the bolt and see if we got enough oil down in there. I didn't pull it out. I didn't feel like I needed to. Okay, that bolt is totally tight. This guy right here. Whee! I'm positive the cable is totally freed up though, so I'm going to poke around a little more with that. It's really tough to get on my knees because of the crash yesterday. But I've loosened up the bolt almost all the way for the brake, and I started worrying about the spring there. You know, just what's it gonna do, and if I gotta pull off the whole pipe to get at it, or more. I don't know. This thing, or the foot peg. I don't know. But what I discovered was, you see right there, that's a cotter pin. I couldn't see that for the life of me. Too much oil and gunk and stuff like that. But I got it together in the back now, and I think I can pull it out through the front. And we'll pull out this whole cable and have a look at it. No. I don't know what it does. Holds a cable in place or something. But yeah, we got the whole thing off. I'll never figure out how this goes on because it just fell off. Okay. So here we are on the back side. Greasy, greasy, greasy. Underneath all that junk, I think we got another cotter pin. And then we can pull this off. I've said that about 5 times now, I think. Oh, it's gonna rain. So I remember the cotter pin goes on the inside. Here's the pin. And the greasy mess. And off. Now we got to take a look at the cable and figure out why it's stiff, or if it even is a cable. Okay, it doesn't really want to move. You can kind of see how it's bunched up here a little bit. I mean, why would it have these if it doesn't move, right? So it's got to move. I'm going to try to get some lube in it on both ends and work it gingerly. I definitely don't want to have to buy one of these. I'm sure it'll loosen up. And it's pouring now, but I don't think it's going to last. We're hiding under the deck. This cable is stiff as a board. I'm working it one way, then working it other. Putting oil in where I can see a crease like there. And okay, I'm working it up and down, back and forth. A lot of room to get fluid down in there, or oil I should say. I'm using Marvel Mystery Oil, PP Blaster, and 3-in-1. Various degrees, and it, like I said, it is moving. It feels like it's starting to get free, and then it doesn't feel like it's getting free. I think that rubber coating might be part of the problem, but it also needs to penetrate. So I'm going to give it some time, you know, leave it like vertically like this, and a drop. When I see it disappear up here, that little crack, then I'll put in another one. So there's a sleeve. You can see it's on the inside. It fits right in here. It's pretty gunked up. It's still gunked up, but I cleaned some of it off. But this could certainly be a sticking point. So definitely clean this up and give it a little bit of light grease. And that should work much better. Cable is still, we're still feeding oil into it, letting it sit. It's pretty bad. So letting the cable sit in a vertical position serves two purposes. It definitely seeped down. You can twist the cable around now, 360. And it gave me a break away from doing it. So I'd like to get something down there like a thin grease. I have this spray lithium grease. I might see if it'll seep down there. Well, it's cleared up a little bit. Humidity's dropped a bit. Okay, we cleaned that pile of crap up. And we got this guy with that sleeve I mentioned before. I'm always wondering, like, should I put grease on something like this? Why? Because, you know, grease attracts dust. Dust will just sit there. You know, or should it be nice and clean? I'm gonna get some grease, I think, just a little light bit. The pin's through. I broke the cotter pin, so I gotta go find one, but I'm gonna reuse the other one that was in here. It looks like all that did was kept the cable from going forward. Kind of kept it in its place. So we'll flare that out and we'll go and find another cotter pin. Okay, we're this far with the brake. I got it partially threaded. Then I just push with my thumb on this part of the spring here so that it could wrap around this side. Would have rather have used I don't know, some blunt object than my thumb to get it in there, but it went pretty easy. Then you have to thread the cable through this bracket here. Oh, this bracket, I mean. And you just pull back the rubber here and sit it in there. So that looks good. I gotta tighten up this bolt, make sure we still have some smooth action, and put the bolt back in for the exhaust pipe since we loosened it to have a little bit of space. It looks good. Million times better. I'm gonna take it for another run around the block. The clutch is holding up. Feels a little weird, not totally solid, which I kind of don't like. I just screwed around with the air adjustment on the carburetors a little bit. Still running that great, but the brake is good. The new stop is squealy as before. It's a little mushy, but it works, and the mechanism definitely returns. So that's good. I'm just going to let it idle here for a while, I think. And I had to take it for another spin around the block. Notice a leak here. I thought it was kind of from that bogus gasket, the one I masking tape together, which is actually holding, but I think that is probably coming from that clutch rod seal. That's my guess. You see it right there. And I just stopped and it was smoking a bit, and I was like, I'm sure it's still burning off oil and stuff, but is it getting too hot? Questions, questions, questions. Yeah, it still is smoking over here. Weird. And another thing, here I am riding it around. I haven't really even checked out if the electronics are correct on it. You know, I hitched up those wires and just said like, yeah, I guess they work.